Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Morning Markets from the team here at True Potential. Very quiet day yesterday in asset markets overall. If we look at the major indices in terms of equities, little change there really over the course of the day. Probably Europe a little bit of the standout, slightly weaker, and that's maybe surprising given the strength of the PMI numbers that we saw yesterday morning. I'll come on and discuss those in just a moment. Looking at other asset classes, really very little to report there in terms of how yields have moved in sovereign bonds, how spreads have moved in corporate bonds. So let's just then dig into the PMI data from Europe. And we've got a couple of charts to help illustrate the strength really and the ongoing recovery that we're seeing in PMI readings in Europe in particular. I wanted to focus in on the composite number, and you can see that just on the screen at the moment. The composite there increasing to 59.2 from 57, and really consensus would been expecting that to be unchanged. But what do we see? We see that as really a 15-year high in terms of where the composite is. That's obviously a very strong indication of the ongoing recovery in Europe, particularly that broadening out of the recovery. Very much as we've been discussing over the past number of months, it's been manufacturing that has been the real bright spot in terms of PMIs. We're now seeing that coming into services as those consumer-facing sides of the economy start to reopen. So we're looking specifically at services. We see the services PMI increasing from 55 up to 58 in that data for Europe. So really a strong performance coming through both on the manufacturing and on the services side of the economy. As we've heard in other areas, that is also painting that picture of the challenges that's presenting, and those challenges are coming through in terms of employment and also in terms of input cost pressures. And you can see that just in the two charts that we've now got on the screen, looking at where employment is in terms of the PMI and also looking at input costs. And that's really something that speaks to that trend that we're seeing globally. The ongoing reopening of economies being met by shortages of available labour alongside constraints on input material, and that really because of the challenges of supply chains that we've been discussing as a result of COVID-19. The other area just to focus in on today from a data perspective is the US. The US housing market, as we've discussed, has been one of the real bright spots through the past 14, 16 months. And really median house prices there up around 18% year on year in May. And that's now starting to feed into transaction activity. So if we look at the transaction activity for new home sales, as just reported yesterday for May, they fell 5.9%. And really that speaks to, one, that movement in prices, but two, the availability of new supply. Supply is being constrained by a number of factors, the cost pressures that the constructors are seeing in terms of where some of their input prices have gone. So they've stepped back in putting new inventory into the market. Thankfully, we're starting to see that come through. But what we can say is that there really is a bit of a slowdown there, whether it's a slowdown driven by the individuals and their activity, or it's a combination of both, what's happening in terms of supply, but how demand is changing as a result of those price rises. Final thing from me today, really very much about the MPC today in the UK. The final meeting of Andy Haldane, the Bank of England's chief economist. His replacement's yet to be announced, but we do know that he is more hawkish around the MPC members, i.e. he would like to see the QE programme cut back at this point in time. He thinks recovery is strong enough. Be interesting to see if we see other members move in that direction as well today. I'll leave it there. Please do subscribe on the YouTube channel. Just hit that button that you can see now on the screen. Many thanks.
Subscribing to True Potential YouTube channel is quick and easy. Simply go to your YouTube app on your phone, type in True Potential and press the red subscribe option. You'll then be notified as and when new videos are released.